Feel Good Friday. So we have a newsletter that goes out every Friday called Feel Good Friday. So I thought I would start making a Feel Good Friday video. So we're going to do it for Grassroots Herbalism, as this is on Grassroots Herbalism page. And so what do I feel good about this week with Grassroots Herbalism? First and foremost, I feel good about our mentorship. We have two new mentees. A mentee is somebody that studies with a mentor. So that is Amanda Ray, and Amanda Ray studied with me 14 years ago, and she's the student who have joined the mentorship from furthest away in terms of time. So it's kind of nice to pull that together. One of the reasons that I created the mentorship was so that I could have longer relationships with these students who I really got to know and love during the courses, but then I didn't see them again. So it's really great to rejoin with her. And the other student is Tiffany, and she just literally graduated from our online course that she started this fall. She also comes with a major background in herbs, so she's really ready. Both women have small businesses that they're running and they want to expand them. So I feel really good about that. That's not to leave out the mentees that I already have. They're fantastic and they're doing incredible jobs, and I just feel myself and Grassroots are so supported by them. They're putting their whole heart and soul into their studies, into their consultations, into their research. And to me, this is how everything will grow. So one of the things that we do on the mentorship are consultations. And to that end, I've started to write another book. I've written a book since before 2000. So my book, Pathways to Healing, A Guide to Herbs, Ayurveda, Dream Body, and Shamanism. But I've been teaching ever since then, and it just feels time to really update some of what I've learned. So one of the things that I'm writing about is consulting. And it's been challenging. Done a lot of consulting, and now we're doing free or pay what you can consultations with the mentorship. So been wrestling with it. I shared it with the mentees. They gave me their feedback. And then we've introduced systems, and I wanted to include, systems thinking in the whole process of doing a consultation. And I've done that in the sense of asking questions about a person's whole system, not just their biomedical condition, but, the condition or the shape of their relationships, their relationship to the environment, their work, their community, their spirit, all those things. So that's one method, and that will still be there. But I was also, woke up in the middle of the night thinking, how can you think holistically? Like, how can we're taught to break everything down and put it back together again. That's how we're taught to think. And maybe that's the only way, but I was thinking, is there another way to process or to perceive all at once? So that got me thinking. And then my partner, my wife, Sandy, sent me a beautiful video that I'll put the link to below by David Bohm, one of the founders of quantum mechanics. And it's a beautiful video and it's provocative. And also I watched him think holistically. I could see his brain and then he was speaking to some religious people, and he was trying to explain this. And that's one of the challenges that I have, is like, how do I explain systems? When you learn anything and then you try to then explain it, it gets more challenging. So on that end, I started to go, okay, well, what are some of the things that I've studied that might embrace that? So there's a man named Genlin who wrote a book called Focusing, and his is about perceiving a situation with your whole being and processing it through a felt sense. And so it's, it can be articulated into words. You can take it and, translate it into words, and you can even check with the felt sense of whether those words are right or not. So I started exploring focusing more, and that was delightful. I started finding some beautiful videos. I found a video of Genlin speaking to some psychotherapists in a living room for an hour and a half, and so really breaking down his work. And so one of the big things that his work is interaction, which is the same as relating, relationships. So we focus on relationship in the consultation, and it's the relationship between, first of all, the mentee doing the consult and the client who's having the consultation. But then in the consultees or the client's life, it's their relationships and their relationship to their own body, their relationship to their own inner psyche, their relationship to their environment, their relationship to their job, their connection to spirit, all those things. But getting back to the felt sense, that's more of a way of processing, of taking in the information all at once and having this felt sense of it. So I went on further, looking on, could I find on the library, because I don't like to buy every book because there's too many great books. So I went on the online library to find focusing, and I found a book called Open Focus Brain, and I downloaded it and I started reading it, and then I saw there was a meditation, which you'll see below. There'll be a link to that. And lo and behold, I had read the book years ago, but I was totally, of course, I had changed, and now it was a whole new level. And it was amazing because he was a man who was into biofeedback, and he was trying to figure out how he could get our brain into an alpha state, which is one of our most productive states of consciousness. And he tried it for a couple of years, and he tried all kinds of techniques, and he was wired up to his machines. And finally, he was still wired up to his machine, and he was so frustrated, he just said, I surrender. I give up. All of a sudden, the needle on his machine went into alpha. He's like, oh my God, it was here all the time. So he found also that led to thinking about space. And so it's one of those things that's too in-depth to explain, but Open Focus Brain, I'll put the link to the meditation's on space. What I love was when systems, theories, paradigms come together. So I also did a live, Facebook Live on Ayurveda, and then I cut out of that the meditation that I did on guided element attunement or guided element meditation. And in the elements of Ayurveda, of course, is earth, air, fire, water, and space. And space is a trickier concept for us to wrap our heads around. But again, reading this book and seeing the power of space in our, using it in our brain. Again, too much. If you're interested, try the meditation, then potentially read the book. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And his incredible success rate is with anxiety. He's had phenomenal success with anxiety. And anxiety is rampant today. It really is. It's sad, and it's deserved. We're living in a very stressful time, and we're wanting to, do whatever we can for the environment. And I'll speak to that in a minute, what we're doing here at Grassroots Herbalism. So anyways, the space meditation fits in beautifully, and I'll put a link to the guided meditation. It's been on this Facebook feed, so you can find it there too, but I'll put a direct link in case this is the first time you're watching this video. So that's with the mentorship. Then the online course, we're halfway through, and that's kind of the first 3 months of the course are the really, get going, get it done, get as deep into the material as you can so that you got some momentum. Momentum is such a powerful thing. Momentum's powerful in business. Momentum's powerful in learning. So get that momentum going. And so we've finished our 12 live webinars. And like I said, one of the students actually graduated and joined the mentorship after the 12 weeks, but she had already had a lot of background, there's some other students that are close to completing, and then they have another 3 months where they'll go on with our guidance online to finish the course. So that's something I also feel good about. I feel good about it working, and I feel good that, the students that I'm working with now are all over all over North America. I don't have any from Europe or anything yet, but they're from back east in Canada, eastern states, southern states, western Canada, mid Canada. So that I feel really good about. And I feel good about the fact that one of the mentees who signed up, she lives in a fairly isolated place and she does not have access to an elder like myself. So for her, it's a great joy to be able to bring her learning and her practice to an elder and get some guidance, somebody that has a lot of experience in it. So I think that covers the feel goods for this week. Yeah, so a couple of things that I will say that will also feel good about Mighty Networks is a dedicated network we've started with an online community for grassroots herbalism. And I really encourage you to join. Again, I'll put the link to that. It's free to join at this point. At some point, it may be a paid membership, but for now, it's free. And it's, it's just another place that we can meet. And also, if you want to get our newsletter, I'll put a link to sign up to our newsletter again, because that way you make sure that you get this, teachings on a regular basis. And I say that because I put it together and I go, oh my God, is anybody reading it? But I was at the store the other day and the person who was serving me looked at me and said, are you Dawn Olson? And I said, yeah. She said, I get your newsletter. And it's like, I really, really enjoy it. I just want to thank you. And so we do try and put our heart and soul into it, try to bring to you what's available and what we're learning, what's new on the in the world of herbs. So thanks for listening. This is a fairly long video for Facebook Live, but I just wanted to try it. So it's a feel good Friday. It's not like you have to feel good all the time, and that's just not a reality. But a practice sometimes is good to just reflect on what you do feel good about during the week, because there's often a lot of things to feel bad about. So a practice either once a day or once a week is good. Also, I keep a feel good file. I was encouraged by one of my mentors fairly early on. There'll be lots of, there'll be students and people who just, it just doesn't work for them. And so they are critical of you, and that's okay. And their criticisms could be totally true. You're a human being. But there's also other people who love you and give you positive feedback. So I started a file where I put them in, and now I have an internet file. And when people thank me, I accept it and go, you're welcome, and thank you for acknowledging it, because, we get nourishment from being appreciated. And so I feel that's another thing that I feel good about. I got some really good compliments, like that newsletter compliment was really good, and I got some good feedback from some of my students and mentees, and that basically that feels good. So take a look at your life and just see what feels good. So I'm going to end it for now. Bye. Of course, Grassroots Herbalism, you're here, so you can also check our website.